So Jerry, you got guys chucking tennis balls around in your meeting rooms apparently?
Well, again, those guys kind of started some stuff to catch the small balls, and just so they can concentrate on the balls coming in. And I think that's the good thing about what those guys have kind of started, on their own. It's not mandatory, but I think whenever you can concentrate on something smaller, you should be able to catch something larger. And one of the things that like I got a book that I kind of give those guys, and I know how Jair is. He's more Zenish. So basically just kind of talking about, like the guys over in Brazil, how they kick the small hacky sack ball. And then all of a sudden, why they're such great soccer players, the ball is way larger. So it's just little stuff like that.
So the reason I asked though, because Eric was telling us about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things about him, and we talked to you about this after you drafted him, that was a question about him coming out of Georgia. Have you seen significant improvement from him? Not because of the tennis balls, but because of everything?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think, just going out and catching the balls, catching out the jug machine, making that a big time priority. Just some of the stuff that they didn't get a chance to do in college, we try to work on the weakness here. And, we know going in that they say, hell, we can't catch. But to me, when you can't catch, that means, are you trying to catch? What are you doing? Are you putting time in? So every day before practice, he's on the jug machine. He's catching 30, 40 balls. Then you go out there and you catch tennis balls with Jair. So there's little things like that I think guys are being conscious of, other than saying, I'm just going to run a 4-2 and I'm going to cover the receivers. Now to understand that turnovers are bigger here than it is in college. We want turnovers. We want you in position to cover guys, but you also be able to catch the football.
Jerry, do you think the Bengals are going to try to force you to match, knowing that Jair's out, that using all those receivers they got and the tight end?
Well, no, those guys got when you look at their wideouts, they're loaded. They got a great quarterback, really, really good running back, and then you got a 4 or 5 skilled guys. So I think one of the things that we got to do is just make sure we're being on our plan and not trying to match those guys and just do what we do best. I know just the thing that we're trying to do is make sure that there's no balls thrown over our head. I know they got good skill, but those are things that we got to make sure we keep doing.
Along those lines, you're toward the bottom of the league, on the good side of the league as far as giving up big plays. What have you guys done so well in that regard?
Well, I think that's one of the things that we kind of stressed last year. Me and RD going in, getting the safeties to understand, getting the corners to understand that the NFL teams want to throw the ball over your head. They're not satisfied with 5, 6, 10 yards. I mean, I've been coaching for 24 years and played for 9. They design plays to throw shots. And so if you make them be patient, you're going to have a chance to make a play. I was raised up that way with Fritz Shermer, and he's the same way. He said, no team want to go 14, 15 play drive. Even though you got the ability to do it, they want to take shots, so they give you a chance to go intercept the ball. And if you make them take those dink and dunk plays, you'll have a chance to make a play later on.
Is that sort of why Stokes was off quite a bit in
Yeah.
coverage, because you wanted to make them go down?
Well, I mean, my deal is like I told Stokes, 5-yard routes don't beat you in the NFL. There's a 100-yard field. If they can throw that 5-yard route, guess what, 10 times, they just got 50 yards. Okay, who cares? So, but you know what? They still want one shot for 50. So if I can get them to understand that the little bitty plays don't beat you until there's certain situations that you got to go up there and challenge guys, and then don't miss tackles. And that's the same thing I told him. He made 2 or 3 good plays, and then all of a sudden he tried to shoot his gun and he missed a tackle. So little things like that he's still learning how to play in this league on what you can give up and what you can't give up. And I'm not one of them sticklers where you got to stop a 2-yard route every time, because you're going to get beat on a double cut, and then you're going to get up a 60-yard, and you're going to be mad at him there. So it's little things like that you try to calm him down on little stuff to where he understands the whole game other than just what he's actually out there doing.
Did he actually defend the ball that Roethlisberger overthrew on Smith-Schuster pretty well, because he kept like the outside leverage? Is that sort of what he was supposed to do?
Yeah. To me, he was in great position. And like the second half, we kind of did something a little different. You know, and I told him, I said, hey, you know, I know that their plan is trying to get the 5-yard route, and then make you jump a 5-yard route and beat you deep. So they tried that right before half, I think, and he did a great job of stopping the double cut on 18. And then, you know, we said, okay, go up there and act like you're pressing or press him, and then see if he throws a 5-yard route. So I know that it's a chess match in the NFL. You're going against a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can't just give up everything, but then the second half, you got to do something different. And that's kind of what we were doing a little bit different with Ben.
Hey, Jerry, when you first got the job and I asked you about your playing career, I unearthed one of your old football cards. And I knew that it was going to, you know, guys really respect guys who've done it themselves. But then Eric was in here, said he calls you Coach OG. That's a term of endearment and respect too, right?
Yeah. You know, I think a lot of the guys understand that, you know, you played the game, and I try to break the game down and make it simple for them. You know, football is really hard. You know, you got to go through, you got to grind, you got to get through the meetings, you got to go to practice. And a lot of guys, they really want to just go play. And it's not really that simple. You have to go through meetings. You have to understand what teams are doing. At the NFL, the good thing about it, the NFL is an open book test. And if you could pass that, what you see on film is probably what you're going to get. So you have to learn to study. And when you understand how to study, the game becomes so much slower and that stuff. So my job is to make that game slower for you in the meeting room, which you don't want to sit in for an hour. So now I got to put some fun stuff in there and do some of those things to where it's relevant for you today, and I'm coaching you like I did when I was a player. So it's little things like that. So to me, I think it's a term of endearment, but I think that more so they get what I'm trying to get them to do.
So did they try and find like old YouTube video of you playing with your big shoulder pads?
Nah. A lot of them, you know, I tell them, I said, you got all this access on YouTube and you never really use it, so.